Let's talk Tobago, or people, or places, or challenges and achievements, or needs and aspirations. Join us as we continue our journey into the future.
Hello and thank you for joining us on Let's Talk Tobago, where we keep you informed about the plans and initiatives of the Tobago House of Assembly and the impact that these have on you. In our stories this week, it's not divisive and it's not racist. These were comments from Chief Secretary of London about the budget presentation for fiscal 2013. Tobago hosts West Indies Regional Under-17 Cricket Tournament for the first time. Young adults are dying on the nation's roads. And how about dishing up some local flavour? We bring you highlights from this year's Culinary Festival at Pigeon Point Heritage Park. And stay tuned for our new segment, where you get to have your say with Lois Vincent. You can now send us your comments to information@tha.gov.tt or visit us at www.tha.gov.tt. Please see the bottom of your screen for more contact details. Stay with us. We'll have these and more stories after the break.
Calling all explorers, inventors, and those interested in robotics. The Division of Education, Youth Affairs and Sports presents its Tobago Creativity and Innovation Camps. July 30th to August 3rd, 2012. Come challenge yourself to think critically, generate ideas, design, build, and much more. Learn teamwork and develop socializing skills. Topics include science and engineering, concepts of power, sound and music, building loudspeakers, rocket testing, building robotic system. It's the Tobago Creativity and Innovation Camps.
The 2013 financial year budget is not divisive. It is not racist, says Chief Secretary of London. On the contrary, it is a budget which shows that the current Executive Council has guided Tobagonians through more than a decade of sustained growth. Omodari Mills has the highlights of this year's budget debate.
From reducing the unemployment rate to building houses despite serious financial constraints, Chief Secretary of London disagreed with Minority Leader Ashworth Jack's position that the THA's $4.3 billion budget statement was divisive and racist.
Contrary to what the Minority Leader said, this is not about divisiveness and race. It is not divisive, it is not racist for any people anywhere in the world to stand up for their rights. It is not divisive, it is not racist for people to indicate that we must be treated with pride and dignity and respect. It is not divisive, it is not racist for people to say we have a right to determine our future.
Minority Leader Ashworth Jack, in his contribution to the debate, described the budget as voodoo economics with no new policies.
One would have expected that the Secretary of Finance, as part of an administration now posing as the Tobago Autonomy Warrior Squad, would have spent some time in this year's presentation explaining to Tobagonians how the Assembly will create new structures and strengthen its institutions to deal with the significant increase in the range and scope of responsibilities.
In his critique of the budget, Minority Leader Jack accused the Executive Council of not building enough houses of good quality.
You need to look at the success of housing projects in Belgarden, in Susuland, in Signal Hill, in Condahole. Any sensible person will therefore conclude that the housing policy of the PNM is not in keeping with the wishes, aspiration and culture of the average Tobagonians who desire to build his or her own home. They need land and access to finance.
In addressing the Minority Leader's criticisms, Chief Secretary London explained why his administration has not been able to build the number of houses that they would have liked.
For the central government gave us last year a total of 3.25 and 2.8 and $13.7 million to build houses in Tobago. That's it. That was it. $13.7 million. So that if you're saying you take $500,000 to build a house, which is very conservative, we could have built 27 houses. Whereas at the national level, they raise bonds, they get loans, they have arrangements with banks and so on for credit and so on. In Tobago, every single house that we have built, we built with cash.
Despite Minority Leader Jack's position that the budget is a rehash of the 2001 budget with no new plans for Tobago's future, Chief Secretary London listed several achievements which his administration has made over the past 11 years.
Where the unemployment rate is about 6%, where all our schools and all our public buildings have in fact been improved to a point where they compare favorably or in fact are superior to most other parts of the country and the region. We have reached the point where we have improved the inter-island service and actually the inter-island transportation service. We have improved the water, we have improved the electricity. Almost every indicator of development we have seen significant improvement.
The $4.3 billion 2013 fiscal budget entitled Developing Tobagonians in a Developing Tobago, the Next Frontier, was approved by the Assembly and will be sent to the Cabinet. I am Umudara Mills for the Department of Information.
This district can boast of the many roads that have been resurfaced in the Mount Irvin, Susurlands, Bethel areas. However, Robbie is one of the most recent initiatives geared to assist in the development of the young people in the Mount Irvin Bethel community.
With the Citizen for Security program, we intend to develop a program called Robbie, R-O-B-B-Y, reaching out to Bethel and Bethlehem youths. This is a program which will involve education, it will involve sports, it will involve art, it will involve music, and the Citizen Security Program has suggested that they have funds for programs such as this.
Assistant Secretary Huey Cadet had good news for the residents when he spoke about upgrades to the hard courts at the Montgomery Recreation Grounds.
We've also begun a program of upgrades to the hard courts. The hard court at Montgomery is included in that, and it is in the first phase. Some work would have begun already. Part of that upgrade would involve changing of the fencing, work on the lights to improve the quality of the lights, work on the surface to put in the new acrylic surface that we have at Shaw Park and at Patience Hill at Moriah. That project is earmarked to take about a month and should begin within a fortnight time.
In addressing the residents of Mount Irvin Bethel, Chief Secretary of London dealt with the issue of internal self-government for Tobago. He made reference to Attorney General Ananram Logan's refusal to measure Tobago according to international measurements, which would include the drilling of Block 22 by Centrica.
This is Block 22, Block 23, 23A and 24. These are blocks to which drilling or exploration for gas is going on as we speak. And the minister was in Tobago, the Minister of Energy, not a THA minister, and a central government minister, who sits down in the same cabinet as the Attorney General, and this is what he says: Block 22 full with gas. But according to the Attorney General, that Block 22 full with gas is not part of Tobago because all you're getting is a little piece here in the 10 miles.
As the residents were given the opportunity to make their contribution, one resident spoke about the indiscriminate dumping of rubbish on the beaches.
I noticed that over holiday weekends, we have an influx of visitors from the other island into Tobago. And these people, they stay at home in their cars. They come on the beach, and there are no facilities there for the refuse, for water, or for the human waste. And these people live in sort of lean-to and huts on the beach. You go into Killigan, you will see the rubbish there.
I am aware that we've been having some problems on the beaches. I think it is a situation where we have to increase the patrols in relation to the beaches. And your concern about the sidewalks, that concern is noted, and we will look at that.
First, give Mr. Hilton Sunday, some recommendation, along with Mr. Whitney Alfred, for giving us such a wonderful place in Bethel, especially Horizon Road that we suffer for a very long time.
It's the first ever West Indies Regional Cricket Under-17 Championships, and it's being hosted right here in Tobago. This is the event where some of the future West Indies cricket stars will get to showcase their talent while increasing Tobago's size on the global sporting map. As Sophie Guillaume reports, 6 countries will compete in 15 matches at 4 venues across the island.
Shaw Park, Bonaccord, Louis D'Or and Plymouth are the locations where Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana, Jamaica, Barbados, the Windward and the Leeward Islands will play the matches of 50 overs per side. All Sports Promotions CEO Anthony Harford explained that the under-17 category is a much-needed one.
The WICB and indeed all of us who have been involved in the game of cricket over the past several decades recognize that there is a considerable fallout between the 2 existing age competitions, that is the under-15 and the under-19. The fallout, I think, unofficially stands at about 40% of the kids who play cricket at under-15 level do not stay in the game to make it to under-19s.
Harford added that while ball-by-ball and daily live coverage out of Tobago is not possible, a crew is documenting the matches and the final match will be produced and aired on Sportsmax. With the Tobago House of Assembly collaborating with the West Indies Cricket Board, Assistant Secretary Hughie Cadet said there's tremendous success and benefits to be derived through the venture.
And we just want to indicate to all our stakeholders in the sporting community, cricket, netball, basketball, that we in this administration will continue to undertake opportunities like these that helps to develop the game, and that we'll continue to invest both in tournaments like these and in the local game to ensure at the end of the day our young people have opportunities for their development.
Apart from awards for most valuable player for each territory, there is also tournament MVP, player with the most runs, player with the most wickets, outstanding fieldsman and outstanding wicketkeeper.
We want to really thank the WICB and All Sport Promotion for recognizing and giving the Tobago and the Tobago House of Assembly to be a partner in this.
The event will also provide training for scorers and ground staff.
We at the Tobago Cricket Association are very pleased and very grateful, and I must say excited at the prospects of having this tournament hosted here in Tobago. And we of course thank the organizers for considering Tobago as a host venue for this important youth tournament.
Let me say that this project would not have been possible had it not been for the incredible and sturdy and unswerving support of the Tobago House of Assembly. And let me especially mention here Councillor Cadet and Mr. Richard McFarlane and their team at the Sports Division.
Sophie Guillaume, Department of Information.
70% of the fatal road accidents in Trinidad and Tobago last year involved young adults. The data was shared at the 5th Annual Regional Road Safety Conference held in Tobago recently. Every 3 minutes, someone is killed on a road somewhere in the world. In 2011, there were 203 such accidents, with 142 young persons killed. Held at the Magdalena Hotel, the conference attracted persons from various Caribbean countries. Assemblyman Steve Jack shared a testimonial about his daughter Khadija Jack, who was killed in a road accident in Trinidad a few months ago.
This was a very dreadful experience for me. An experience that I will never forget. She was a person that held a lot of promise. And both her mother and I sort of looked forward to the day when she would have graduated as a lawyer.
Alive at 25 is a campaign run by conference organizer Jarek to promote safe driving among the nation's youth. Speaking at the youth forum of the conference, Jarek director Eric Kipps stressed that traffic crashes are the #1 cause of death among the nation's youths.
BBing and driving is death. Texting and driving, death. Using a cell phone against the law. So look at this here. And this is when we're having the fatal crashes in the night.
Assistant Secretary with responsibility for youth affairs and sport, Hughie Cadet, warned against mixing alcohol with energy drinks.
For behavior change and attitude to be adjusted, it's really you have to do that. You are to determine that the reality is from a psychological and a physiological perspective. Mixing alcohol and energy drink is a no-no.
After narrowly escaping what could have been a fatal vehicular accident, Tyrone Chance warned against the dangers of drag racing after spending a month in ICU at Mount Hope Hospital and several weeks just lying on a hospital bed after that.
I was actually on about 17 machines in Mount Hope. From here I was on about 17 machines, machines all over, everything just, And like the last week, out of my coma, they wanted to actually pull the plug on me because I wasn't seeing any progress. I want to encourage people outside here to stay close to God, stay close to family, stay close to your mind, because that is what's controlling you. Right? Your mind have a lot to do with everything that you actually do in life. You have to think about what you're doing before you do it.
Home court advantage didn't help for the 6 days of intensive tennis action, which took place on the newly refurbished Shore Park courts. The Tobago Tennis Federation took on the challenge of hosting the BNP Paribas Group 3 Davis Cup tournament. However, in the end, the Trinidad and Tobago national team had to settle for 5th place, while Haiti and Guatemala moved into Group 2 of the Davis Cup. The closing ceremony of the Davis Cup tournament took place at the Blue Haven Hotel in Bacalat, where players from all 10 teams along with local and regional officials gathered. The spotlight was on Haiti and Guatemala, who were able to outdo Trinidad and Tobago and the 7 other foreign teams to move into the Group 2 category. International Tennis Federation Supervisor Roberto Brown de Vega congratulated local organizers for successfully hosting an event of this stature.
We know the difficulties and the challenge to organize Davis Cup ties, and we're here tonight to recognize the dedication and efforts that Trinidad and Tobago have made in order to run such a great event.
The THA was one of the main local sponsors of the tournament. Assistant Secretary with responsibility for Youth Affairs and Sport, Huey Cadet, said the THA is ensuring that tennis continues to be an opportunity for Tobagonians. At the end of the ceremony, we had the opportunity to catch up with some of the players about their Davis Cup experience on the island.
Despite us winning our opening match and on 2 other matches, our main goal was to go undefeated home, and we did not achieve that. So I think everyone is going to have that bittersweet feeling of hosting the Davis Cup but not being able to qualify for the next round until next year when we do qualify.
It was a good experience. I'd like to thank everybody for the support, but we were a little bit disappointed. But that just gives us more motivation to get ready for next year and see if we could get up to Group 2 next year.
It was a great experience. I always loved the Caribbean. I'm from the Caribbean. I'm from Haiti. And I love it. Good atmosphere. I love the fact that it's kind of like being home a little bit, and I really enjoyed it. Great experience, and I even enjoyed the beach as well, and the coconut water, So it was great.
Physically tired. At the end of the week, everybody's a little bit beat up, but at the end of the day, the results are positive. We're going back to the Group 2. We're pretty excited about it. We did it before. We did it in the past. Last year didn't really work for us. We went down. And, obviously excited to go back to it.
For the Guatemalans, the new courts were a plus, but the weather conditions took some getting used to.
The courts were really nice. They just resurfaced them right before the tournament. They were pretty slow, but I think they suited our game pretty nice. So I think that helped us play our game, and we played really well the whole week.
It's different because obviously the weather here it's a lot hotter than in Guatemala. We get usually it's like 20 something degrees. Here it's always like 30, 40 degrees. So we had to adapt to that, but luckily we had a good preparation at home. We played some tournaments in the heat before coming here. We came here on Thursday. Tournament started Monday, so I think we were probably the best prepared team, and I think that paid off in the end.
We take a break.
Call in all explorers, inventors, and those interested in robotics. The Division of Education, Youth Affairs and Sports presents its Tobago Creativity and Innovation Camps. July 30th to August 3rd, 2012. Come challenge yourself to think critically, generate ideas, design, build, and much more. Learn teamwork and develop socializing skills. Topics include science and engineering, concepts of power, sound and music, building loudspeakers, rocket testing, building robotic system. It's the Tobago Creativity and Innovation Camps.
Welcome back. It's now time for our special segment, Have Your Say with Lois Vincent.
The Plymouth Recreational Ground was chosen as one of the venues for the WIBC Under-17 cricket tournament, where Barbados went up against Guyana. We spoke to a few avid cricket fans to get some feedback on the games thus far. Most of the patrons agreed that there were not enough young persons viewing the games.
A tournament like this, like the village even know about it. You understand? So I figure, well, you have Plymouth, you have Bethesda School, you have Plymouth Anglican School. The children should be involved and let them come and see what's going on. It's a youth tournament.
I used to play Stokeville in the past, along with the secretary for the area, Gordon Adams, and I feel we could come and get a little support to the youths with the sports now. Because we in the game for a long time and I get a little experience with the football and with the cricket.
Match official Dexter Nolan said Tobagonians have shown a lot of support for the tournament.
The people turned out very fairly and came to support the tournament. Quality of the ground's fairly alright, but it needs some minor repairs to the ground and a little better job, and the ground will be a better facility to play on. Well, this one here look plenty better than the rest that I've been to Louisville. It needs one or two repairs, depends, because it keeps water on the ground. Pitch alright, but as I said, more work and you'll have a better facility.
One resident felt more should be done to assist youths in general.
Well, you know, there's a lot of young adults, there are a lot of adults in Plymouth haven't owned a job. And I feel if they own a job, they would, do certain things like buying facilities that they could play as sports or take part and in anything, important that they could elevate themselves, to the highest level. We have Kellyanne Batiste and she goes well. So we would like to see the majority of young people, in the sports, reach that distance.
Then we had the voice of the youth.
You have to get more training camp in the village so that people go upgrade themselves and do a lot of things.
Well, I think for young people on a whole, we should be more sensitized on what is taking place in the community. For example, the village council, sporting activities. Young persons must be able to be second in command, where as the president, they must have some youth representing also. So as the president goes, a young person will come up for the next couple of years. And same as in sports, you must have future footballers, future cricketers for when the elders leave. And for example, the cricket that is going on, we have 2 schools in the community, and thus far, none of the schools are being represented at the ground, and it's an under-17 tournament.
It was more than just a showcase. The Tobago Culinary Festival tested the culinary skills of some of the best cooks on the island. Here's Juliet James with the story.
It was food for soul guaranteed as the curtains opened on the 2012 Tobago Culinary Festival. The world-famous beach venue, Pigeon Point Heritage Park, had a wide array of mouth-watering local and international cuisine for every palate.
On the menu today we have zero pork with cucumber anchor. We also have fire roasted pimento prawns with local pumpkin and pineapple chutney. We have a local vegetable risotto. We also have a Cajun style potatoes. We also have a curry chicken breast in a curry sauce, in a West Indian curry sauce. And we also have pan-seared mahi-mahi with dolphin with ginger and honey glaze.
We have baby back ribs,
which we have our own special rub that which we just put on it. And of course we have our seafood prep, which consists of almost all the thing that comes out of the sea, lobster, squid, scallops, fish. Everything goes into that.
We have curry shrimp and chicken. Of course, you know, our specialty is the cows, but cows very difficult to get this from, so we had the back pasta. And it goes with potato and chana, we have pumpkin, we have curry mango, and we also have kalori and sahina frying hot on the spot with mango chutney and tamarind chutney.
I have some eggs layers, stewed coconut fireside food again today. I have rabbit, a breadfruit pie, macaroni pie, bhaji rice cook-up, dashin bush rice cook-up, provision.
My food is so tasty. I cooked it with ruku, long time ruku, and it's very tasty. The crab, I have rabbit, I have goat, I have coconut fish with oko with ruku. It's really tasty. You should taste it.
From pepper shrimp to curried chicken, stewed rabbit to baked chicken, breadfruit pie to Cuban Asian Creole delicacies, there was no shortage of food available for patrons to sample. The well-equipped kitchen stadium was the main stage for those who dared to show their culinary skills by cooking on the spot. After all the menu throwdowns, the dicing and the chopping, it was Yazan Williams Chance who emerged victorious in the cooks competition. Arlene Pereira placed the second with Mauricia Julian and Veronica Ford third and fourth respectively. However, it was Carla Ann Williams, who had not even set her mind on winning, that walked away as Iron Chef champion, relegating former winners Stephanie Woods and Anne-Marie Arthur to second and third positions. Children were not left out of the action with the secondary schools competition. 4 schools took part in this year's competition: Pentecostal Light and Life, Speyside High, Bishop's High, and Mason Hall Secondary. Signaling that they can cook too, they all proved to be very efficient in the kitchen.
So all the best to all of you who are in the engine room, especially you, the young people on stage, the students. Welcome, part of the investment in the future, because we want to be able to say if you come to Tobago 10 years from now, you will still be in good hands to enjoy a good culinary treat.
But it was the cooks in blue from Bishop's High that got the judges' nod for their cuckoo creation, fiesta rice, and infused garlic broccoli puree menu. Pentecostal Light and Life placed second with Speyside High third and Mason Hall Secondary fourth. Each team had 90 minutes to prepare 3 plates using the mystery ingredient, chicken or fish. Under the aroma of food and scattered shawls, patrons to the event fully enjoyed the live entertainment that took place on stage 2.
Africa go sing on Rowley. I don't want to be crude, but a nice lady they tell me to sing on food. Because today it's very special. It's Tobago Culinary Food Festival. And that woman who tell me to sing, all morning she come here, the girl was eating and so tiny. I would like to know, I want you to show me where all that food does go.
Calypso greats Black Starling, Baron, Explainer, and the Super Blue also kept patrons entertained with a repertoire of their classic calypsos, while hosts Errol Fabian and Nikki Crosby kept the crowd in stitches with their unique blend of commentary and comedy.
I can real cook as Tobagonians teach me to cook.
Bread and cheese is not cooking. Bread and cheese is not cooking, Nikki.
I could fry an egg.
That is not true, Nikki.
I could beat an egg till it's dead.
I
beat
know,
it, beat
but
it.
I am Juliet James, Division of Tourism and Transportation.
As we come to the end of another episode of Let's Talk Tobago, we leave you with some highlights from the Culinary Festival at Pigeon Point Heritage Park.